Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Tipsy Talker. I am your host, Mr. Tipsy. Oh, boy. All right. So, in this episode of the Tipsy Talker, I want to talk about something deep. Yep, something deep. Yeah, I know it sucks, but I want to talk about death. I know it's not something that a lot of people want to talk about or even think about. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to talk about it. But it is definitely something that we all think about. Some more than others. So I think today I want to share my thoughts on this horrible subject. So without further ado, let's get into this. We'll talk about it. We'll get it done and over with. Call it a day, and it'll be what it is. All right. So, death. Man, I got so many thoughts on this subject. We'll start out with, all right. So 28 years ago, I lost my grandmother. Now, if you have tuned in to my podcast, you will know that honestly, she's the one that raised me. She was the one that was there for me. She was my mom. She raised me from newborn on up, so she was definitely my mother. Yeah, 20 years ago, 1998, I lost my grandmother. So I lost my mom. I lost everything. And, you know, like when you are at that point. So, all right, let me take it back a minute. So my grandmother, she wasn't in very good health. And, you know, she had some health issues, whatever. So we put her in a nursing home. I put her in a nursing home. There was no we. It was me. I was 20 years old at the time. All new to me. Yeah. And so, you know, the state came to me and they were like, hey, like this is the greatest thing. And, you know, she's going to be happy here and she can do this and she can do that. And she can play bingo. She could be, you know, have her hair done and all. They gave me this rundown of how great life was going to be for her. So obviously, you know, yeah, I took it. You know, I was like, yeah, that sounds great. You know, that's what I want for her. This is great. And hopefully she lives a long, long time and she gets to do all this. The place that I put her in, I'm not going to say any names, but it is the most horriblest place in Lancaster County. Now, if anybody that is listening to this knows Lancaster County, they know exactly what I'm talking about. However, I was young. I did not know. So I would go there, you know, every day after work, and I would talk to her, and she would tell me about how her day was. And it was, you know, one of those things where I knew. Actually, the doctor had told me that she only had 6 months to live. And that bothered me. So, you know, I was strong for her, you know, strong. And I said, okay, you know, there's no way around this. And they're like, no, it's 6 months and that's what it is. And do what you have to do. So I would go there every day and I would talk to her, you know, and I would ask her how her day was and ask her what she did and ask her if all the things that they said that they were going to do for her actually happened, which, well, you know, for the most part it did. But then, yeah, so then I had to start feeding her because she was not feeling that great. So I would go there and I would feed her and I would tell her I'm here for her, but at the same time, I would also talk to her about, hey, like, you know, what do you want me to do if something happens to you? You know, if something happened, if something bad happened, like what do you want me to do? And she gave me her rundown. Well, this is what I want. I want this and this and this and this and this and this. If something was to happen to me, this is what I want. I'm like, okay, I got you. Unfortunately, on August the 11th of 1998, I did lose my grandmother. It was one of the worst things ever, because she was my mother. So you would have to put yourself in my shoes as if it was your mother dying. I was there for her, and I went to the hospital, and they said there was nothing they could do. And yeah, so it happened. However, I made sure that everything that she had talked to me about came to light. I made sure that everything that she wanted happened. And you know, I was 20 years old. 20 years old. And, you know, I would say, so not only burying a loved one is hard enough, but burying your mother is even harder. But being the one who is in charge of everything is the worst. You know, I had to pick out her dress. I had to pick out her vault. I had to pick out her casket. I had to do all that stuff. And you know, I was so busy making sure that everything that she asked for was right. I did not have a chance to cry at her funeral. I was so happy that everything that she asked for, I got done. I got done the way that she wanted it, and I could not have asked for anything better. But I remember, you know, like I remember crying, you know, before anything happened. I remember praying to God, please do not take her. Please, I will give my life for hers. Just don't let her go nowhere. You know, please let her live on and let her have a happy life and take my life. And that didn't happen. And that was one of the hardest things I've ever had to go through. But, you know, when I was younger than that, I didn't care about life, personally. You know, like I didn't care about dying. I didn't care. Whatever, if I'm going to die, I'm going to die. It is what it is. No fears, no regrets. You know, no, oh my God, I'm so scared. None of that. None of that. I actually think I probably wanted to die early. A lot of things I would think about was like my upbringing. Like, you know, we were poor and we didn't have a lot of things, and it didn't really matter to me because I didn't have anything to live for. Well, obviously that has changed. So definitely has changed. And you know, like that was a very sad part of my life. However, once I got my family, that all definitely has changed. And it's funny, you know, like honestly I think, And I don't know if it's just a man thing or if it's a woman thing. If anybody out there that's listening to this can relate to me, I think that once you have a family, you trade in your I don't care attitude for shit. I don't want to leave this world anytime soon. And that's where it comes from, or that's where I'm up at now. Like over the years, I've had a family. If anybody knows me, if anybody has been listening to Mr. Tipsy, they would know I have plenty of family. Yeah, but that family is what makes you change your whole outlook on life. It does. And what I mean by that is, you're young, and yes, you don't really care what happens to you, and you live life recklessly. You do. You live it pretty reckless. But as you start to get older and as you start to have children, that recklessness, recklessness, I don't fucking know. I'm tipsy. That's why they call me Mr. Tipsy. Hello. Anyway, that recklessness goes away. It does. Because now you have something to live for. You have your children. You have your wife. You have your family. And that changes your whole outlook on life. Changes the whole thing. So you're once, I don't care. I don't care if I die. I don't care. Let's go. Who cares? To now, you know what? I've shared so many great memories. I have so much good things to live for. I don't want to go nowhere. And that's where we are today. That is where we are today. So when I first started this out, I did say, there are people that think about it. I think about it often. And I can tell you that I think about it more as I get older. Yeah, sitting out by the fire or sitting out front watching the cars go by, or sitting downstairs when it's just me. I think about it a lot. I think about all the children that I have, all their independent personalities, everything that they do to make me proud of them. I don't want to go nowhere. I don't. I would trade anything in my life for one more day. And I think as you get older, you get it. Like you go through the day's motions. You get up, you go to work, you save money. You save money for what? Seriously, what do you save money for? For when you're dead? Well, that money is not going to help you out at all when you're dead. But I can guarantee you that putting a couple of extra bucks in a savings account for you to take a vacation with the people that you love, that is what is going to make everything so much better in life. But yes, I think about it, like, hey, it's not time for me to go yet. Why? I don't know. Because I have to see my kids grow more. I have to see them go further. I have to see grandbabies. I have to. I just want to be a part of their life. That's what I want to be. I want to be part of their life. Not just then, not just now. I want to be part of their life in 20 years. So it's on my mind constantly. You know, like, what can I do? What can I do? Can I eat better? Can I get healthier? You know, what can I do to make sure that I'm around long enough to see those things? Because that's what I want to see. I want to see my kids get older, because I just I don't know. I just want to see it. I want to see what I did. I want to see what I had a part in, what I had a hand in. I want to see them all succeed far beyond my expectations, far beyond. And honestly, I'll keep it with you. So far, so good. They all have exceeded my expectations, every one of them, and I'm so happy for that. So happy for that. 2 of them have houses already. That's something I don't even have. I don't even have my own house. I still rent. 2 of my children purchased their first homes already. And that is such an awesome, awesome thing. You know, and I just want to be around to see it. So my younger years as, oh, I don't care. I don't care if I die. Now I care. Now I don't want to go nowhere. I don't want to go nowhere because I feel that now I have too much to live for. All of my children give me too much to live for. And wouldn't have it any other way. Honestly, I wouldn't. So, recently, I've had a little bit of a scare. We'll talk about that for a little bit. So, I am a stubborn man, 49 years old, stubborn. I have not seen a doctor in over 20 years. Now, most of that is because, hey, I really didn't have a reason to. You know, like, there hasn't been anything wrong with me to go see a doctor. So, whatever, you know, it is what it is. I haven't gone and seen one. It is what it is. 20 years. 20 years is a long time. Now, I'm not saying that within those 20 years that I haven't had slight issues that would arise, but then go away, because I have. However, I would say a week ago, week and a half, I have been experiencing some chest pains, mostly in the left side, heart area. And like I said, I'm stubborn. So nothing. I would not go to doctors. However, the pain would get worse and worse and worse. And I did tell my wife, you know, like, hey, this is what's going on. Obviously, she was like, oh my God, you gotta get your ass to the doctor. And me being stubborn, I'm like, well, I'll wait it out. We'll see what happens. You know, I don't know what it is. Maybe it'll just go away. Well, it didn't go away. Didn't go away. So here's the deal. I love my wife and I love my family to the ends of the earth and back. And I hate going and seeing a doctor. I hate it with a passion. However, I love my family more than I hate the doctor. So, I decided that I was going to go to the doctor 22 years later and find out what's going on. So, I went to the emergency room the other day, and really weird. Things were okay. All right, so things appeared to be okay through the tests that they ran. So, me being stubborn, I signed myself out of the hospital. And, like, I'll be honest with you, like, I have dogs at home. And I promised my one dog, Bo, when I went to the hospital, that I would be back that night. I told him, I'm like, look, I'm going to go here. I'm going to get a checkup. I'll be back. And a lot of my decision was this. One, I promised that I would come home. Two, and as weird as this must sound, I said to myself, honestly, if something's going to happen, if I'm going to die, I'm going to die at home, because I would rather be here with the people that love me the most than be in some fucking hospital room, a bunch of people that I don't know and that I don't like, and die there. Yeah, so I told them, nope. How am I looking? Is there anything major? They ran so much blood tests and so much. They did x-rays and they gave me EKGs and all this shit. And everything came back normal. Everything came back normal. With me still having pain in my chest. Everything came back normal. So I'm like, well, here's the deal. Well, if everything's coming back normal, then I'm just going to go. I will schedule an appointment to see a heart doctor, later on. But right now I'm leaving. So obviously they were pissed off about that, but it is what it is. I don't give a shit. So I am going through the steps now. I have an echocardiogram, which I guess is like it's like an ultrasound of the heart, scheduled on Monday. And then they are going to schedule me an appointment to do a catheter into my heart, and they're going to fix whatever might be wrong, because there is something wrong in there. But I'm willing to. I hate hospitals. So let me, reiterate about that. I hate doctors because they're all bastards. They're all horrible. I hate them all. I don't want to be there. They charge you $125 for a fucking aspirin. They're bastards. However, my family means more to me than a $125 aspirin. If going here and doing that stuff allows me to spend, even if it's 5 more years with my children, then I will spend whatever I have to spend, and I will go through whatever testing I have to go through to have that extra 5 more years with my kids. That's just the way that it is. And I think it's funny. I think it's very ironic that I went from I don't care about life and whatever it is, just take me, I don't give a shit, to going to the doctor and fighting for every fucking day that I can to be with my family, to be with my children. It is such a 180 for sure. You know, and I understand that there are people out there that worry about it constantly. But honestly, think about it. Why do you worry about it? You worry about it because you have a very, very good life. And you do not want that life to end no matter what. No matter what. You know, you'll wake up every day and you'll be like, oh, work sucks and bills suck and gas prices are high and my car payment sucks. You'll run through all that shit, but at the end of the day, you'll do it. Why? Because you want one more day with your family. You want one more day alive. You want one more day above ground. So all that little shit, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. Because what matters is family. That's what matters. Family is what matters the most, and it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what walk of life you're from. Family is what keeps you alive. Keeps you alive. Keeps you going. You know, like, a lot of people think, you know, well, you know, I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to go anywhere because, you know, I got this to live for and I got that to live for. But what really is it that you're living for? It's family. Honestly, that's what it is. You know, you're living for the next day. You're living to say hi to your mom or your dad or your brother or your sister. You know, you're not living for work. Work just makes it easier for you to pay the bills. You're living for the approval of your family. The, hey, I'm proud of you. The this is what I'm used to, and I don't want to change it. I don't want to go nowhere. Of course. That's what you live for. That's what everybody lives for. And there's nothing wrong with that because that's what it is. You know, there are so many times that I'll sit on the front porch by myself, alone, and, you know, like, I'll look at the flag flying. You know, I'll miss my children. I do. Like, I miss them almost on a daily basis. There are some times where I'm so busy, I get caught up in life, and, you know, it's nice to hear from one of them. But I would say, let's just say, like, at the end of the week, you're sitting out there and you're thinking about the kids and you're thinking about your life and you're thinking about your family, and you're like, I don't want to go nowhere. I don't. There's nothing wrong with that. If you're going to hold on to one more day with maybe a text message, hey Dad, I love you, I'm thinking about you. You know, like one more Snapchat of some funny little face that your daughter sent you. One more random text message from one of your boys. Hey Dad, I just want to let you know I'm thinking about you. That is all that matters. As you get older, the older you get, the more inevitable death is. Unfortunately, it's there. And honestly, I look at it like this. You're going to go when it's your time to go. Everything happens for a reason. If my time to go is now, then my time to go is now. If my time to go is in 10 years, great. I have another 10 years to go. I know that it will happen no matter what. And I kind of have some things laid out. You know, like who gets what. I really don't have much. So I would disperse my stuff accordingly. But for my children, I really don't think it's that. I don't think that it's that. I think that my children would throw all of my stuff away to have one more day with me. Actually, I know they would. Because my children aren't about material things. My children are like me. It's about family. What do you need? What can I do for you? Are you okay? Can I help you with anything? I don't want your stuff, I want you. And that makes me feel so good about life. I would say probably in the last year, I've been thinking a lot about death. And I'm only going to say that because I feel that my life has been so great. I have been blessed with so many children, so many great memories that I don't want to lose none of that. I don't. A memory is just that. Something that you do with your children that imprints happiness into your heart. And let me tell you, I have so many imprints in my heart from my children. It's amazing. I have so many great things that I can look back on, so many great memories that I can look back on at any given time and be like, wow, and smile. I smile all the time. You know, I smile all the time when I think about the kids. Just little things that they've done, just weird things that they have done. But with this new situation, it really has come to light to me that if you are in any kind of distress, quote unquote, please go see somebody. I mean, I get it. I'm like you. I am stubborn. I don't care. I don't want none of that. But if going to the doctor helps me in any way, shape, or form, and it kind of gives me even just 2 more days with my kids, I'll take it. I will. I'll take it. I don't care. Yeah. So Monday Monday, I'm going to do an echocardiogram. They say it's kind of like an ultrasound of the heart. And they're going to look in there and they're going to see what's going on. My guess is that I have maybe a clogged heart valve or an artery. And then I need to set up an appointment for them to put a catheter in. And the lady at cardiology said that they will put that in and they'll look and see what's going on in there. And whatever the case may be, they'll take care of it. Okay. Take care of it. Because I am not ready to go nowhere. I am not ready to leave my family. I am not ready to do that. Which is funny. You know, like 20 years ago, I would have been like, take me, I don't care. Family has a very weird way of changing your thoughts, changing your way of thinking, changing how you feel. It definitely does. So, it's a pretty deep tipsy talker this week. However, I know that there are times that people think about this and, you know, they kind of get down. There are times when I'm alone. Well, not so much recently, but there were times, you know, that I'd be alone. Like I'd go out and say out front, or I would just start to fire, and I would be upset. You know, I would cry, thinking that I have an amazing life. It doesn't have to be full of nice cars and big houses and lots of money. That I don't have. That I don't have, and I think I'm the richest man in the world. I have I have a shitty house. I have great kids. I have a shit car. Doesn't matter, because I have something more important. I have family. I have people to share my life with. I have people to come up here and visit me. You know, I have people to talk to. And, you know, my adult children now, I get phone calls. I get Snapchats. I get text messages. I just got something from one of them today. Hey, I just want to check in on you. I hope you're doing good. Enjoy the rest of your day. You know, like that right there means the world to me. That right there says you have to fix whatever's wrong. You need to keep living. Okay, I'll do it. There are some times in life, you know, and as far as certain people go, I mean, I'm sure that they don't have big families, or they have no families, and they're thinking about this and they're upset, and they're like, you know, I really don't have nothing to live for, but you do. You do. I am a very strong believer that everything happens for a reason, and everybody is put on this earth for a reason. I could be wrong. I don't know. But I'm a firm believer of it. I feel that I was put here on this earth for something, and I have no idea what yet. But I feel that my mission is not over yet. Whatever that mission could be. You know, like sometimes I'll sit there and I'll pray, or I'll talk to my grandmother, you know, who's in heaven. Like, what do I need to do? You know, what do I need to do? There are times that me and my wife had went through the wanted ads, and, you know, people needed things. I remember a couple years back that we went through the wanted ads, and there was a single mom that didn't have a fan, and it was very hot. It was summertime. So me and my wife went to the dollar store. We bought 2 fans. We delivered them to a stranger. That might be part of your life's mission. There's got to be something. There's got to be a reason why you're here. Maybe my reason is to help people. We help a lot of people. Maybe my reason is to be here for my children and see them grow and succeed in leaps and bounds that I could never do. Things that I wish I could have done, but never got a chance to do, so I could see them grow and succeed and be proud of them. Or maybe I just need to be here for some moral support. Maybe. I have no idea. But I can guarantee you that I'm not ready to leave yet. I can guarantee that anybody that might be listening to this who's a mother or a father, you're not ready to go nowhere yet. Do whatever you have to do, make whatever changes you have to make to try to stay there for your family as long as you possibly can, because they need you more than you need them. And as a parent, you think, oh my God, this is my whole entire world. I can't leave them. If you think that, think of what they feel. Think how they would feel to lose a loved one, a parent, somebody who's there for them in every step of the way. I'm sure it's heavy. Yeah. So it's a pretty deep subject. It really is. And honestly, I could probably talk about this. And I could talk about my feelings for probably another hour. However, I don't want to dwell on it too much because it is a very downing subject. I don't want to be a downer. I just kind of wanted to share my thoughts on what I thought about death and what I'm thinking about death. I don't want that. I don't welcome that. Not right now. I want to be 79 years old, 80. I want to see my children have children. I want to see my children get married. I want to see happiness in the family that I created. That's all I want, is happiness. I want all of the siblings to get along. I want them to know that no matter what they're going through, no matter what kind of hardships they may have, talk to me. Talk to us. We're here, and we will be more than willing to listen to whatever you have to say and maybe kind of give you some advice. Obviously, you guys are more advanced than we ever have been. However, life advice is life advice. You don't got to be, well off to understand your life's advice. So, I really don't know what else to say about that. I think that it is a very deep subject. I think that a lot of people don't want to talk about it because they don't want to hear, or they don't want to come to grasp that one day the people that they love the most in this world might not be here. However, they should hear that. They should, as young adults, grasp the concept and then think, okay, so I this is going to happen one day. How will I continue to live my life without them? It's hard. Like you don't want to think about that. Trust me, I didn't want to think about that either. I could not imagine a life without my mom, my grandmother, my mom. But as the years went on, great things have happened. Now, when I talk to my grandmother in heaven, all I ask is that she looks out for my children. I'll say, hey, Nan, do you see that they did this? Do you see that they did that? Do you see that they're doing this? Do you see that they're doing that? Please continue to look after them and make sure they continue to do good in life. And if they need you, make sure you're there for them. That's what I say. And so far, so good. You know, maybe it might be, supernatural. I don't know. Maybe not. But so far, so good. Yeah. So I think that I will probably end this gloomy little podcast on that note. I don't like talking about that stuff, although it is on my mind, as I'm sure it's on a lot of people's minds. So hopefully this kind of like brings it to light, and maybe anybody that might be thinking about it, might be like, hey, you know what? He's right. Let's think good thoughts. Let's live for today, not for tomorrow. Let's not worry about what's going on. Let's do this. And if you're not in the greatest of health, don't be like me. Don't be an ass. Go ahead, get yourself checked out. If you want to be there for your family, if you want to make sure that you have a lot of extra years ahead of your life, go and make sure you're healthy. Please do that for me, because I am one horrible procrastinator when it comes to health. However, my family means more to me than a doctor's bill. So my ass is going to see the heart doctor, because I need to make sure that I'm here for them. That's all that matters to me. I would do any testing. I would do any surgeries. I would do whatever I got to do to make sure that I am as healthy as I possibly can be for them. I need to live for them, not for me. So stop being stubborn. Stop being stubborn. Go and see the doctor. Please do that for me. All right. So, well, I'm about done with this podcast. I will, however, on a brighter note, I talked to Mrs. Tipsy. That's right. Mr. Tipsy has a Mrs. Tipsy. I've already talked to her, and I asked her if she would be willing to come on my podcast and maybe talk about something. And I asked her what she would like to talk about, and she said, you know what, I would like to talk about travel and family. So I think my next podcast is going to be with Mrs. Tipsy. And I think we're going to talk about traveling and family. So on a brighter note, I would say next week, hopefully, I can get a hold of Mrs. Tipsy and we can sit down and we can have a little chat about family and traveling. So hopefully that's my next one. Should be soon. Should be coming out soon. So make sure you're listening. Make sure you subscribe, because I'm the Shizzle Sticks. That's right. I am pretty good. So, all right. I think I'm going to end this. However, I do want to. I've been thinking about a sign off. So, like, what can I say to sign off? So I think for now, I think my sign off is going to be whatever life takes you this week, lead with kindness, share a smile, and never miss a chance to tell somebody that you love them. Until next time, this is Mr. Tipsy signing off.